So while Rivals of Aether 2 has an overall very positive score, recently it's been pretty mixed, as you can see in this graph right here. Now this mixed score is still 67% positive, which is the majority, but clearly there are some mixed emotions. Overall, I think it's fair to have mixed opinions about this game, but I wouldn't worry. And actually, the studio lead Dan Fornace himself has responded to all this. So if you want to take a look at what the people think, what I think, and what he thinks of all this, you can go to this timestamp right here where we go into a deeper dive. Welcome to Recap of Aether, your one-stop shop to get a recap of everything that happened in the Rivals of Aether community in the past week or so. I'm your host, both players. Thank you guys for watching, and let's get into it. First, we have this kind of cryptic announcement on Twitter from the Rivals of Aether team. Aether has long been shaped by legends, which will we see return next month's in-game event. Honestly, I'm very curious what this means. What I assume it's gonna be like a legends-based event, and so there's gonna be skins based on the different legends. Both players from the editing booth, looks like they already announced this before the actual event. So it is the Legends event, Aether Legends. So these skins are based on the legends. Mostly the Orcane one, the Orcane God skin. There's the Fleet Ranger skin inspired by the Ranger design in the future. And the Dark Emperor skin. I think that's what it's called. The Dark Future Loxodon skin. These are really sick. I think maybe the best event skin they had yet. And even their free skin is pretty sick. As you can see in this event, you can get these icons, these skins for the paid event, and for the unlockable event track, you can get this Smoke Clan Forsburn skin. So this is the skin I guess Forsburn had while he was in the Smoke Clan. Pretty sick, not gonna lie. You can also get this I Win emote, which this is gonna be really toxic, but that's okay. A new Elements themed death animation, and this icon, and this futuristic platform. So yeah, the event is mostly the future event with the side of Cosmic. Yeah, I think these are one of the best skins that they have released so far. All of the skins are fire. I think the only complaint I have is Orcane's shell tail. I don't know why this tail is the pink, and the way these shells point downward, these points point downward, it looks like an udder. I don't know, am I crazy? This looks like an udder on the tip of the tail. I wish they made it cream colored to like accentuate the cream colored nails and stuff sticking out of Orcane, but they made it pink, and it's looks like an udder to me. Maybe it's just this angle. I'm sure when he's standing normally it'll look more like a shell, but that's my only complaint. Otherwise, fire skin. And this is where I would tell you to use my creator code if I had one, so instead use someone else's. And this will also probably come with a balance patch as well. Generally speaking, they seem to push big balance patches at the start of the month too. If I had to guess, there's probably not going to be a lot of tuning, because I do think a lot of the characters are in a pretty good spot. Despite my frustrations with some of the characters, I don't think they're like so overly powerful that it's impossible to deal with. Perhaps there's going to be Aether buffs, but at the same time, I think they're going to wait a while before really giving him buffs, because there are players who are showing up and showing what Aether can do at high levels. So I think they're going to wait until maybe another big tournament where they can really gauge the results. Speaking of tournaments, one of the biggest tournaments that's happening is one of the Hungry Games for Hungrybox's Subathon. 5 online majors in 1 week, one each day, $1,000 pot. And Thursday, March 6th is going to be when the Rivals 2 singles is happening. The tournament is going to start 6 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. PST or any other times in North America. And this is the pricing breakdown, which is 40% to first, 20% to second, 15% to third, 10% to fourth, 5% to fifth, and 2.5% to 7th, which actually, this is one of the most generous breakdowns I've ever seen. I think a lot of places do like 60-70% for first, which I get it, you're first place and you should win, but I personally prefer a much wider spread like this, where if you get top 8, at least you get a little something. By the way, there is a 512 attendee cap for each event, and right now Rivals is sitting at 491. So if this is an event that you want to attend, you should sign up now. And this tournament seems like there's going to be a lot of big names, namely Cake Assault, Marlin, Stango, and players from other games like Spargo, MK Leo, Cody, and a lot more that I can't really read off right now because I don't think they have like place where you can see everyone for some reason. I mean, it's not scheduled yet, so I just can't see where all the people are, so I don't exactly know who's in without like looking through everything. But it's gonna be a pretty big one, and definitely important to look out for in terms of who's a strong player, and potentially somewhere the devs are gonna look for balance changes. But if you're like, man, those tournaments are way too high stakes, I don't know if I dig that. Luckily for you, our good friends at Last Talk actually host a weekly tournament on Thursdays as well. It's unknown at the moment if they're still going to host their tournament while the Hunger Games is happening, but Last Talk happens every week, and if this is something that you're interested in, if you want to join a small online scene, then you should really consider checking out their Discord. I'll link in the description below, where you can talk with community members as well as join the tournament. The person who's leading Last Talk, which I believe his name is Matthew Noid, he's a really welcoming guy. I joined recently and he was very friendly, super friendly environment. So I really recommend you checking it out. As a reminder, Rivals of Aether 2 is actually going to be at EVO 2025. And if you are dying to be a commentator, there is the commentary application as SBS has shown. So if you are interested, please go to this application. I'll also link this in the description below, where you can fill out all your information as well as which game you want to commentate. For you guys, probably Rivals of Aether, but anything else if you are interested is here as well. Alright, so that's pretty much it for news this week. Not a lot happening other than speculating what the update next week might be. Let's take a look at the Nolt Board suggestions. If you're unaware, Rivals of Aether has a suggestion board where you can make any suggestion you want in hopes that the devs will see it and respond to it. And if you look here, you can upvote for things that you think are necessary, so that it gets more attention. So if you click on the roadmap here, this is actually all the things that the devs have already responded to and marked as completed, planned, working as intended, not planned, discussing options, in progress, planned again, planned but blue. So there's a blue planned and a green planned. Okay, sure. I'm not really sure what that's about, but why not? But if you want to get deeper into this, Last Talk has already made a video about this. He goes over all the things that the devs plan to do in the roadmap, as well as going over some trending topics and top-like topics as well. I was going to go over it myself, but I feel like that would just be a redundant topic since we're essentially both going to be summarizing the same thing. If you want to know what the people are suggesting on the Nolt board, I highly recommend checking out that video. But also, if you guys follow me and want to know my opinion regardless, let me know in the comments. I mostly assume that people who follow one Rivals content creator is probably following a lot of others, and I don't really feel like rehashing the same kind of content unless it's like patch notes stuff or like other opinionated stuff. But hey, if you guys want me to read it out loud instead, feel free to let me know and maybe I'll change my mind. Alright, next is the YouTube portion. Let's see all the great Rivals 2 content coming up this week. And the first thing, I actually just got a notification for this, is Gimmer's buffered shield drop. Okay, first of all, I didn't know that, apparently I didn't know how to shield drop. What I thought shield dropping was you have to like lightly tap down while you're in shield. But as it turns out, I didn't notice, but you can just press diagonal down, and diagonal down will just automatically shield drop for you. I was doing it wrong this whole time. I'm gonna actually, I recorded my reaction to this. I'm gonna pop it up right here.
Press the control stick into one of the downward diagonals.
You'll go downward diagonal?
Frame 1.
What?
This is called.
Oh my god, am I a
drop.
freaking
This
idiot?
mechanic.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. I'm pissed. This changes the game. I'm becoming a diamond player. I'm becoming a diamond player this instant. Because you can also do it if you lightly tap down. I thought that was the only way to do it. In a high pressure situation, I can't freaking lightly tap down. It's too hard. But you can hard tap diagonal. Well, okay, I'm messing it up, but I feel like this is way easier to practice than being like delicate about it. Holy, that's crazy. That's so funny. I'm a bad player, it turns out. Basically in this video, he teaches you the buffered shield drop. So the TLDR is that regular drop down platform aerial takes a long time. 6 frames buffer for the drop down and a 3-frame buffer for an aerial. But shield drops, you can act out immediately. First frame, you can do an aerial. So with this technique, you can do this. There's like instant move into a shield drop aerial. Or a shield drop special. What the heck is this? This is gonna be, the platform pressure is gonna be ridiculous. I feel like it's already pretty bad to be on a platform, but now it's gonna be like stupid. You might as well just go. it's dangerous to be up there. Gimmer gets more in depth into it, why buffer shield dropping is better, the combos you can do, the shield pressure you can do, the auto cancels. That I think this is gonna be really important for characters. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be, I think, possibly game changing. Next, we have Last Stock's ranking every skin in Rivals 2. Have you looked at all the skins in Rivals 2? Do you have rankings? Well, Last Stock does. So if you wanted to see all the skins just out in front of you, then go check out this video. Speaking of skins, our friend Dim's Island is still going strong with the skin showcases. So Rivals 2 did implement a skin preview in the shop. However, it still doesn't showcase everything, like the possible effects and the history and the reasoning behind everything. So this is where Dims comes in. Dim, I don't know if this is something that you've done already. I don't think so from looking at this video. But I think a really fun thing you can do is showcase the exclusive palettes for certain skins. The Dart Rano also has the foil Rano's palette that is like recent, which is this right here, this foil palette for the Dart Rano. I don't know why the Dart Rano gets the foil skin, but sure, why not? But yeah, that would be something I think really cool to add into your skin showcases. Next, we have Player 5's the tech you didn't know about in Rivals of Aether 2. Player 5 calls it the Moon DAC, which I think is the Moon Dash Attack, but Rivals 1 is just called the Dash Attack Shortens. This is a tech that Player 5 did not realize was in Rivals 1, but they liked the name better, which honestly me too. Moon DAC sounds way cooler than Dash Attack Shortens. But basically, using the moonwalk technique, you can actually change the distance that the dash attack goes in, which is an interesting tech. If you want to learn how to do it, go check out Player 5's video. Next, this is not from the past week, but something I watched recently, Toma's Frozen in There Rivals of Aether 2 video. If you can see here, I think largely inspired by videos like Lythero, if you're familiar. A couch co-op, just people having fun. And each person has their own little character, as well as like subtitles that belong to them. I think this is such a well done video that has just like people having fun with the game, you know what I mean? And just to give you a showcase of what the content is like, I mean, check this intro out.
Am I glad he's frozen in there and that we're out here and that he's the sheriff and that we're out here and that we're in there.
This is so well done.
Out here. What I want
That's
to know
so
is where's the caveman?
The animations up in this B word? Bro. The vibes are immaculate. I think this part was particularly funny.
It's more insult coded than it is comp coded.
I also did not know. But the person who's making these like stills is so good. It's so good. I really dig this video. So everybody go to this channel and like and subscribe so they make more of this stuff. We need more of this stuff in the Rivals Aether community. Next, we have a combo video, a Orcane combo montage by Sabre. Wanted to make a video of the best clips before the February hip pause changes. What I find really funny about this is that Sabre called it, you know, Always Moving, a Rivals of Aether 2 Orcane video featuring Sabre? Your Sabre? What do you mean featuring Sabre? I suppose if it's in the title and people know you, it'd be much easier to find, but like, that's just so funny. It's not featuring, you are, I mean, it's literally featuring you in like the literal sense of the word feature, but people write FT to indicate that they're just a small part of it. But you're the entire part of it. Anyway, really sick gameplay with Orcane. If you want to see some fun Orcane clips, go check it out. Next is Gekinga's Loxodont montage, which as a Loxodont player, this stuff is so juicy. I gotta do that more. I gotta do more like eruption into neutral B. Also, this clip is crazy. Whoa, look, what the heck, dude, the freaking wave bounce? The wave bounce neutral special? Dude, explosion, that big freaking brain, bro. Big freaking brain. No wonder I'm a freaking low plat Loxodont. Ew! Reverse back air there? Oh, so disgusting. Oh my god. I could. Oh, the eruption usage on Gekinga is like immaculate. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I'm speechless. I do not use eruption nearly this well. This is awe-inspiring. I really should just study Gekingo's videos and montages, because this is disgusting. Grab. The wave bounce. Oh my god, the wave bounce is so sick. Jeez. Okay. I gotta stop before I watch the whole thing. Check out Gekingo and subscribe. That's so good. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the Rivals of Aether Reddit recap. Let's see what the people have to say about Rivals, shall we? But before we get into that, I wanted to show something that I saw on Twitter. It was only a couple things, so I didn't have an entire Twitter section. For one, this Rivals of Aether 2 poster, very sick. Clarin looking super edgy. I don't know the exact reference to this. Fire art. This is fire. Is this supposed to be like Four Tails Naruto? I don't think so, but that's the only thing I could think of. Is it not Four Tails Naruto? That's the vibe. Black and red and the white eyes. I don't know. If you happen to see this Midnight Moth, let me know. But otherwise, that's what I'm gonna assume. All right, so let's get into actual Reddit. Some things I upvoted already because sometimes I check the subreddit. Maybe I shouldn't, so everything is a surprise. But I think this is so funny. Locks players after a long day of standing in place, mashing jab into F tilt. It ain't much, but it's honest work. That's what I'm saying. Rise up, fellow jab into F tilt Loxodoners. Hiding under platform, standing in place, mashing jab into F tilt. Well, maybe this is what I gotta do. I gotta stand under a platform. And I mean, this is what I think the jab nerf was supposed to like get rid of. This like unfun part of locks, making them jab. I think they're trying to force locks to be more creative in their gameplay. I mean, I found that I'm being more creative because the higher level I go, just mashing jab F tilt does not work. And everyone can punish that. Everyone expects jab F tilt. So I gotta be more creative regardless. But I love it. Keep making fun of us. Maybe it'll actually change the gameplay. They're just rubbing it in now. You can actually pinpoint the second her heart rips in half. True. To be honest, if I was an Absa fan, I'd be malding. Like, it was funny when they did it, but they don't need to rub it in? Come on. You have no idea? Aw, you guys. Yep, not to mention the Christmas cookie tease. Look, I can't relate because I'm not a true Absa fan. At the same time, they're just having a little bit of fun. This part was, look, objectively, kind of funny. I think the devs are allowed to poke a little fun at the community. They earned the right. Oh, this is Dan responding. Wait, that's so funny. I just want to be clear that I like Absa. She's a staple for Rivals, and I don't think her moveset is crazy or too complicated or too toxic for any other reasons I've seen. But yes, I did come out with the fake out for the Olympia trailer. We knew the trailer was going to be played live at an event, so I wanted some twists for the Olympia reveal. We did not plan to Absa fake out for Edalis. All characters in the universe are eligible for icons and stuff, so she just happened to be in the crosshairs there. I didn't even consider the Edalis trailer to be one, since it was a lore trip from west to east across Aether, and you could see his big polar bear paw. But also, someone at Genesis told me we should make an Absa in every single trailer now. Then it's someone else who is revealed, which is right up my alley and pretty hilarious. But I also like Absa, so I wouldn't do that to her. Unless... That is such a troll. Top 1 platform fighter developer, dude. I think because it's indie and not backed by like something weird big like Warner Brothers or Nickelodeon, Dan's allowed to make these trolly things, which I think elevate the game. There's a certain charm to Rivals because it's so indie and fun. It's just a little prank. It's just a little prank. No hard feelings, lol. That's the OP. I'm stoked for anyone because every character so far has been a ton of fun to play as is. When Absa revealed, you gotta do a reverse fake out trailer though as retribution. Please don't, I'm begging you, my heart can't take it. I understand if you're really not interested in her, but a lot of us are getting desperate. As someone in the official Discord server, none of us are happy about it. Yeah, that's probably not the best place for it, but as a general fan of Rivals, keep it coming. At this point, do it for every trailer. I'm team every trailer. Put in the comments right now, are you team every trailer or Dan, this is unforgivable, I will literally kill you. Crag Pinball, I like this already. What is it? Probably Crag Pinball. A little platform over there. A bing bong over there. I do like Crag Pillar shenanigans. Whoa! What was that sound? Ew, what? Is that official or is that a mod? But that is, I love Crag Pinball. Hey buddy. And in the words of Beefy Smash Dudes, you could have teched it. You could have teched it. That's a tech. This is a tech. Oh my god, 2 opportunities, brother. God, I love Crag. Rube Goldberg machine ass character. I love Crag. Fire. I hate Ranos. This is the only time I'll cheer for Crag. Wow. People on the Crag train. I mean, Rock is a funny ass projectile. There's a lot to say about this game. One of the aspects people forget is that it's a funny ass game. It actually surprised me going to the store page and seeing that the recent reviews are mixed. Oh, interesting. I was unaware. This was from 5 days ago. Yeah, as of right now, it is still mixed. 68% positive in the past 30 days. Let's see what else the people have to say about this. Between server issues and recent updates, I'm not surprised. The fact that the game is far from feature complete is another factor. Sure, there are probably Rivals 1 players with a chip on their shoulder and Smash players who are just generally demented, but the game really needs to get those core features in and really needs online to work better. This is definitely something quite a few people have problems with in the reviews. A few people have said it feels like a full price early access title without the early access, while others describe it as a downgrade for the first game. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's like recency bias, and maybe just like people forget how indie games work sometimes. Like Rivals 1 on launch was like really bare bones. It was not even close to the product that we have now. Yeah, I mean Rivals 1 when it launched in 2017 was a very bare bones game, to be honest. It still had the core gameplay that people loved. It was not until like the definitive edition that they really made it into something that we know today. And I think, yeah, right here, Definitive Edition was ultimately released September 24th of 2020. So it took 3 years before the game became the game that we know, including stuff like Workshop as well as all the other features. So I wouldn't be surprised if Rivals 2 takes about that long as well. Ultimately, I think it started off way more polished, and they do have a bigger team going on instead of just Dan, so they probably will get these features going faster. But the other thing is this game is much larger in scope, so we shall see. That being said, I do think these are fair criticisms, and truly, unless you just like playing platform fighters, this game is likely not for you until the Rivals 2 Definitive Edition or the console release, which is likely going to happen 2027. That's what I'm gonna guess. The launch was very intentionally for the core gamers, and while they have that user base and a steady stream of income via cosmetics, they plan to bring those other features for casuals in. Was it the right move? We shall see when the console edition launches. I think a lot of gamers are console gamers, and they do plan on doing cross-platform compatibility, so that is definitely going to get an influx of players. Needs Rivals of Tether 2. True! For fun modes, please, Dan. Please! From what reviews I've seen, it sounds like Rivals 1 players are getting cranky that it's becoming the new Smash Bros game and not Rivals, which is pretty fair. Yeah, I wonder how many of the reviews are like Smash people, Rivals 1 people, because as we have seen, a lot of Rivals 1 heads are not too happy about the changes. Upbeat Perception says, I feel like this is having a lot of the Smash 4 problem. If old players don't like how the series is going, they're perfectly within their rights to stay put in their older game like the Melee community of old did. If Melee can keep going decades after it was the new hotness in the face of frankly antagonistic devs and countless hurdles, if the rest of the FGC has managed to normalize keeping old games afloat with the new stuff, see Guilty Gear community, Street Fighter community, etc., while Rivals 1 can't, then frankly, that's a skill issue. All review bombing Rivals 2 does is make Rivals 1 community seem bitter and off-putting. The only thing stopping the community from enjoying what they already have is their own willingness to keep it afloat. Pretty interesting opinion. I feel like it's fundamentally different because Nintendo never really gave dev support, but to a point you're right. I guess if you like Rivals 1, you should just keep the Rivals 1 scene alive, even if there is going to be no dev support. Rivals 1 is still a very sick game. I played it in Genesis and I was like, wow, I actually do miss this game. I mean, even compared to the other options, Melee is uniquely afloat by just how miserable Brawl was as a sequel. And in regards to the review bombing, they aren't common as the comments here would suggest. Plenty of the recent negative reviews have 100 or 200 hours in the game too. At that point, I think whatever they feel about it is valid. As someone who has gotten a lot of enjoyment out of both, I would say that the problem is that Rivals 2 doesn't innovate on Rivals 1 in cool ways outside of like get up specials and Loxo being the coolest MFer ever, and instead just makes it more samey compared to other plat fighters and bringing a bunch of new issues and how the game plays compared to 1 that makes it much slower and more lame. Yeah, it's just fundamentally it's a different game. And I think that's it. It is similar from from Melee to Brawl in that the game is fundamentally different, that it like kind of rubs people the wrong way when you're a fan of the first one. And even Brawl to like Smash 4 to Ultimate, like the thing about modern fighting games is that each iteration is like a unique different game. And I think that's what's happening here. It just so happens that Rivals of Aether was such a unique game that has such a cult following that breaking it would be like pretty harsh. But I don't know. I would not say that Rivals 2 did not innovate on Rivals 1. I believe it kept a lot of what made Rivals 1 cool, particularly the characters and the character text. Like as long as Olympia it feels similar, I'll be happy. But who knows, maybe I'll be like the Edalist guys who are like, this isn't my character anymore, oh god. It's really a question of whether or not you want to cater to your old audience or want to build a new one. And the ideal thing is to try to do both, but like I think the more healthy version and more sustainable version is to focus on the new. Oh, this is interesting. Dan responds to this. Another poke is Dan made a tweet some time ago. It was during the earlier days of Rivals 2, I think, and it was something along the lines of Rivals 2 isn't meant to be fun, it's meant to be satisfying. And the game can certainly feel that way for some people, including some people, myself included, but I'm not trying to hate anymore on a game I know doesn't seem kinder to me. I'm just poking what could be potential answer as to why the hate now. And Dan responds, nah, it's meant to be fun. A lot of the frustration that I'm seeing these days stem from how familiar the game feels to a variety of people. Melee players, Rivals players, and Ultimate players can all hop in and skip the beginner phase, but then we all feel like we should cruise through the intermediate phase and climb the rank ladder. But we get frustrated at the mechanics that aren't familiar to us, whether that's CC, floor hug, ledges, or shields for Rivals players, or character movesets for Smash players. And rather than learning the new mechanics and the counters, it's easier to just rage online somewhere. But the same frustration point is part of the fun for me if you're open to learning the new stuff. It's just hard to do while also having a rank number that you associate with your progress instead of your actual skill progression. We also need to add more content to the game and improve ranked so it's not like our team is absolved of these issues compounding. But there's definitely a specific kind of salt that our ranked ladder produces, considering the top half is comprised of players coming from 3, well really 4 or 5 very different games. I mean, this is like a very well thought out response from Dan himself, acknowledging that there are these frustrations, but it's very likely because every person from a different game has different parts about the game that they don't like. And I also agree with Dan, like I think the beauty of new games is relearning stuff. The reason why I'm the type of player to go to the next game whenever it comes out is because, yeah, I want to learn new things. I played the old game, it's super fun, but new game has new toys for me to play with. It's a large reason why I picked Loxodon as my main. Like, it's a character that did not exist in Rivals 1, had brand new mechanics to play with. The meatball was super fun. The lava mechanic is super neat. I mean, I'm changing my tune when Olympia comes out. But like, I think when the other new characters come out, that's what I'm most excited for. And that's what I really like about games in general, is like the learning aspect. Probably review bomb by casuals gave me some fun non-sweaty modes pronto. I read a few and a lot of them didn't like the transition from Rivals 1 into 2. I also saw complaints about the game's balancing decision and how floor hugging, crouch canceling ruined the game. I was surprised to not see someone saying online was too sweaty and get bodied when online. Not my opinion, just the messenger of what I saw. Yeah, I mean, overall, that seems to be the consensus. Rivals 1 heads don't like that it's Rivals 1 3D. Ultimate heads don't really understand the concept of CC, floor hugging, and all that, and the character mechanics, and like it feels frustrating to play because you don't understand. And melee heads don't really like how lower the skill floor is and how much easier certain tech are. You know, melee heads just like how complicated and complex their games can be. But yeah, very, very interesting. I'm glad I went over this. He couldn't get through Clarence D tilts. All right, let's see. Down to... Oh no. Oh no. Oh brother, what rank is this? You gotta be cleaner with the recoveries, or try to recover high from that point. Yeah, recover high. Yeah, there you go. Except you did it too late, so you had a lot of percent and you died. Unfortunately, I will say Clarent down tilt is freaking ridiculous. but Raster could have done stuff. My edge guarding is kind of schnazzy though. Yeah. Even if there's ways to handle this, it's a good example of mechanics that are 10 times easier to execute than to counter. I hate that down tilt so much. Yeah, I mean, this down tilt is a play the game for you machine. It does everything. It doesn't really matter. I was thinking it might be before the patch that changed the duration of the stun, but regardless, what's more hateable is that 75% of what Clarin do goes by this ratio of difficulty to do counter. Man, the grammar, brother. The amount of focus and commitment to radical game plan needed to beat a merely spamming Clarin in some matchups is wild. I mean, this much is fair. I think this is something they gotta look into. It's hard because like high level Clarin, I don't think there's like as much representation. I mean, like there is Ron Ganshu and Spargo, but it's hard because what I think a game needs to have to be very successful is be accessible to casuals. But what's accessible to casuals and healthy for high level gameplay is often at odds with each other, which I think this is just a small example of. But a funny clip regardless. Guys, I found it out. Don't know why y'all didn't do this. Oh, so that's what a rival is. New Rano skin? How do I get it? I pointed this out before. This is the foil palette for Tree Frog Rano. It's a palette for Dart Frog Rano, not Tree Frog, Dart Frog. Sorry, I'll kill myself. It'll appear in the shop once you own that skin. Wait, is this true for all palettes or skins you don't own? Yes, it is. For example, White Tiger, Edda, Clarin, and Purple Primal Loxodon, Pink Honey Edalis, Pink Tux Rano, etc. It's totally hidden till you get the skin. What business sense is that? Well, this person answers, so you don't buy a palette for a skin you don't own, I guess. And I think it's also so you don't confuse a palette for a skin. So you'll like, I actually remember seeing a complaint about this on the Nolt Board before, where someone bought a palette thinking it was a skin, and then it did not happen. But I think this suggestion works really well. Yeah, but wouldn't it make more sense just to show it on the store and have a prompt saying you need X skin to be able to purchase this palette? This way, they are losing clients potentially buying the skin just because of that palette. Is enough telling I'm just learning this chrome exists from Reddit instead of the store. I think I agree with this suggestion. Like, you should show it off, and then when you click it says, would you like to buy the main skin for this? This is a palette. I mean, yeah, great idea. Character isn't broken. This is a competitive game. It's just, I couldn't, I had to see this because Fleet was gonna kill herself. Clarin isn't broken, Crag isn't OP, Zetterburn isn't busted. All these characters have tools that can feel oppressive if you don't know how to deal with them or you don't have the technical skill to. This can be frustrating, but if your reaction to this frustration is character is busted instead of I can do better, then you're never going to improve. You'll get your upvotes on Reddit, but you'll stay heart stuck in whatever division you're in. If you care about getting better at the game and not just protecting your ego after a loss, make a post asking for matchup advice. Make a post with replay asking for a review. Chances are someone better than you on here will be happy to help, and you might even learn something. P.S. Tips for Crag who gets beat up by Rano, please. Yeah, it's super annoying. There's just characters where I really struggle against, but I don't think they're broken. Half the time, I just want to show a clip I get as my main, only for people to be, Crag's easy, he takes no skill, he's stupid, I'd rather fight Clarin, yada yada yada. Like, can I just post a clip and not get pooped on for my character? I wish people didn't hate others for who they play. Joke about it? Sure, trust me, I joke about Clarin, Tipper, and Zetter Shine, but I don't hate them for it. Yeah, I mean, this is true for like any competitive game. And especially Rivals, because I think Rivals character have like so many options and all these options are good that I think it's one of the most overwhelming fighting games that you can play. I think like even classic fighting games like Street Fighter, while there's like combos you need to learn, it's very like, you know, it's just two things on a screen moving at relatively slow paces, and the footsies is like very small rather than like a bunch of movement. The floor, while lower than a game like Melee, is still like higher than a mass appeal game like Smash. But hey, this is the game that we chose to love, you know? It is what it is. I also think people are generally, okay, maybe this is a boomer take, but I feel like people online are generally so much more doomer about things. They're so like downtrodden and heartbroken about like characters sucking and the experience being bad. And it's like, bro, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Like the amount of like replies to Dan about like, you idiot, did you code this game with a room full of idiots? Clarin exists. It's like, Crag exists. It's like, what are we doing here? It's just a video game. You don't have to like it, right? You don't have to force yourself to like it. I think people feel like they're being tricked by others who like this game. They're like, I have to like it. It's like, no, you don't. You really don't. Or maybe they themselves don't even mean it that much. And they're just complaining. Trying to convince a friend to play. This seems reasonable, right? Okay. By the way, you really need to get Rivals of Aether 2. Before I played, sad, house messy, never contemplated wearing a Cupid dress and taking up archery. After playing, slightly less sad, house slightly less messy, free pizza, in therapy, free pizza, finally going by blank at work. Probably not gonna wear the dress, but archery sure seems appealing. There's clearly a cause and effect here. And it's definitely not just because of therapy. Yeah, I mean, any reason to make people play Rivals of Aether is a good one. Yo, I'm proud of you for your progress. Rivals 2 related or not? True! Thank you so much. It's been a long and weird journey. I didn't expect to get so much support from this silly post, but I appreciate it. Yes, sir! How about them apples? One day, you gotta make an update where you do wear that Cupid dress and takes up archery, because I'm assuming you're a fleet main, question mark? The name thing is because I don't want to out myself, but I'm non-binary. I can't be out as my gender at work because Texas, but I did finally ask to be called by my chosen name. I'm pretty sure these positive changes are the result of playing casual every night as Loxodon and Fleet. No way therapy had to do anything with it. That would be silly. Not like I'm building confidence and getting better. Taking care of myself is definitely the fighting game. Hey, what therapy tells you is be more confident. And there's nothing that strikes more confidence than a strong Loxodon and the fleet. So I think more power to you. The lesson here is why pay for many months of therapy, which is many dollars, when you could just spend $30 for one video game and get the same result. The only way to play, that's so funny. CRT mode, it really is just Melee 2, isn't it? How's the latency feel and how many frames you getting? I definitely feel it a bit, and frames I'm unsure. First time doing it like this, so I'm definitely feeling growing pains at the moment. If you're interested though, I can update you once I've tweaked it a bit. That is so funny. Should I even feel good about this? What the heck? Yes! Yes, you should. 109 hours? That's paltry. No worries, man. As long as you're getting better, you should feel good. Everybody started from somewhere. Also, the average player is silver. So I guess that's good. Play casual a lot now that you're in the cusp. The 1069s are hard. I mean, just the fact that you're ranking up at all means that you're improving, which I think is great for a fighting game. On the note of character isn't broken, this is a competitive game. F Rano, this broken ass frog, please Dan, do something. Hey, I already looked at this, but man, that's so funny. I could be way wrong, but I feel whenever I play against Rano, I have to play the player more than the character. I have a general game plan against pretty much every other character in the game, but with Rano, I have to adapt to habits way harder. I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing, but just my experience as someone who's played a lot of Ranos in ranked. Thanks for the advice. I don't think this was advice. I think this is a statement saying that Ranos don't have like a general game plan and everyone is unique. And so it's harder to play against Ranos. I don't think that's advice, but okay. I've had 3 friends quit because of Smurfs, and it makes me so disappointed in the community. They all hovered around 700 range, and it's pretty clear some people like to fuel their tiny ego by destroying new players. I've watched some of the replays and it's quite clear the higher skill players are just demolishing bronze low level silvers. Stop killing the game. You aren't good by ragging on new players and making them quit the game. I hope you Smurfs enjoy it while it lasts because you're killing the community. Intentional Smurfing. Let's see. Oh, I literally tanked my rank to silver so I can get matches. My peak was 1372 Loxodon before tanking, and I'm US East. Oh, interesting. You aren't imagining things. People are explicitly doing this. Some people are also much lower elo than they should with skill transferring from other games. I ran into a 0 stone on ranked a while ago and decided to look up his username since something was off during the match. The guy had 2 accounts, one to smurf people at stone and his actual legit account. When people say they've never seen smurfing in Rivals of Aether 2 before, that's because of your rank. No one's smurfing at higher rank. It's mostly someone who doesn't want to play against people of their own level. They really need to add a block or report a player opinion to the game. I mean, sheesh, that's proof right in the pudding. Yeah, I mean, I think this actually is why I think separate character ranks would be beneficial to Rivals of Aether, because then people don't have to smurf. Because people, like, unless you're a godlike player, even if you're a master ranked like Zetterburn, you're likely just like a gold or plat ranked like fleet. Like they play so differently that it just could not be equal. So I think more opportunities for people to play in the lower ranks without smurfing would be a really good idea. So please, Dan and the devs, I know for some reason your guys are against character ranks, but please do character ranks. I actually, the more I think about it, the less I agree that a singular rank would be the move. I want to play my other characters in ranked, but I don't want to tank my main rank. I don't, that's just the reality. Like, I love Daedalus and want to play him against players around my level, but casuals is too wide of a net. I either stomp or get stomped. Alright, so that's about it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys are here at the end, I would like to ask, I have some ideas for different kinds of videos. Some fun videos, but maybe some like other tutorial-y videos. I had an idea of doing like how to play against character, like a guide as a plat player. But I'm wondering if that's something you guys think would be helpful or useful. Because like plat is relatively high, but like I'm not even like a diamond player. I still get rocked by some of these characters. But I have like general rules that help me with some matchups. Maybe that'll be helpful for you guys, I'm not sure. But let me know. I also have a lot of plans for like fun gameplay videos and more like opinion video essay videos. Probably not like highly edited, but still. So if you want to keep up with all of that, please consider subscribing so that I get in your feed, you get notified when I upload, and hopefully I keep this going. If you guys have suggestions for types of content that you want to see as well, let me know, and I'll definitely consider it. I had this idea that revolved around playing free-for-all, but literally as I was recording, I waited 40 minutes for a free-for-all lobby, and I'm like, this idea is dead. I can't do this idea anymore because nobody plays free-for-all. We're all 1v1 monsters. A little bit of lore for everybody who watches to the end. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.